Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pageant Sit Down. My name is Regina Lena, and I am so ecstatic for all of you to be with us tonight. Today is a very special day in the world of Galaxy. Not only is the Ms. Galaxy Canada 2022 pageant going to be airing on YouTube, but I have a candidate for the 2023 class for Ms. Galaxy Canada. So I'd like to welcome all of you, or introduce all of you actually, to Ms. Galaxy Elsipogtog. I hope I said that correctly. 2022, Carolyn Simon. Hi, Carolyn.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so happy. Okay, did I say it correctly? Elsipogtog?
Close. Elsipogtog.
Booktok. Okay, I'm gonna get it right. I promise. For those who are not new to the show, they all know I have a tendency to butcher at least one thing of every guest that I have, but I promise by the end of today's show, I will be a pro at saying your title. First off, welcome to the Pageant Sit Down. I'm so excited to have you here. I have started to get to know you a little bit throughout the past few weeks, but I'm sure there are people who are tuned in who don't know who you are. So, Carolyn, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I am 20 years old. I currently live in Ottawa, but I was born in Elsipogtog, First Nation, New Brunswick. That's where I grew up. My roots are there. I'm Mi'kmaq, and I'm very proud of that, actually. And I moved to Ottawa. I live in Ottawa, like I said. I moved to Ottawa about 10 years ago to start an undergraduate degree in journalism. Quickly found out not my thing. And while I didn't like the degree program I was in, I love the city, and I've stayed here and kind of like set my own roots here, and have really like made this my second home. But for example, I'm a social work student at Carleton now, and I love it. It's a great program. And I guess I want to I will always carry my home community Elsipogtog in my heart, which is why even though I live here in Ottawa, I've chosen to represent Elsipogtog back home.
I was curious about that because we had a conversation yesterday where I was like, wait, what time zone are you in? Because I did a quick search to where Elsipogtog was, and then I realized it was in New Brunswick, so I was like, which time zone are we in? But when you said Ottawa, I was like, wait, what? So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, what has it been like, I guess, for you? You mentioned your passion is with the Indigenous community. That is who you are as an individual, but also your platform. So what has it been for you the past year with everything going on?
So the past year with everything happening, it's very personal to my heart. I'm a very open book, and I'm open to disclosing a lot of things. And as you might have known, with the unfortunate deaths of a lot of Indigenous people within the law enforcement and in the medical institutions. I guess me seeing that from, and I guess a perspective of somebody who has gone through those myself, it's been really hard, but at the same time, it's given me this, this motion, or this feeling of being able to move forward through that. It's given me so much reason to look at, my experiences, and look at where I was then and where I am now, and how I can use where I am now to share my story and to make an impact and to create change. So while everything that's been going on is heartbreaking, and I, like I said, there's been so many personal experiences of my own, it's kind of reinforced what I want to do in life.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I was mentioning to you earlier on before we went, my heart is with your community and everything. It is heartbreaking to hear the stories, to see the TikToks. I've learned so much through TikTok, which is wild to say, because I was totally against TikTok once upon a time. But no, my heart is with you. I think your platform is so much bigger than you, and I think it's great that you not only have your education, your work, and now your platform, but you're using your own experiences too to change the lives of other people after you.
Mhm.
Well, moving on with your platform. So your platform is for Canada Galaxy pageants. What was it about, I guess, pageants? First off, is Galaxy your first pageant that you are competing in?
Absolutely not, actually. So my first pageant actually was, I was about 7 years old. It was like 2000. It was the Little Miss, okay, Big Cove. So before Elsipogtog was Elsipogtog, it was Big Cove. They changed their name to Elsipogtog, I'd say, in 2003.
Okay.
My first pageant was Little Miss Big Cove 2000, and I don't remember a whole lot of it. I was probably 7 years old, but I remember having a lot of fun and really wanting to go back on the stage. And there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for me to do that up until I was like 17 years old. But there was something in the back of my head that was just telling me like I needed to be back on the stage. I wanted to be on the stage. I wanted to explore that part of me that wanted so badly to be able to carry myself with grace, and to carry myself and carry my stories with grace and poise, and to share that with people. And so when I was 17, I entered the Miss Teen New Brunswick International Pageant. So that was held in Moncton, New Brunswick. And in 2012, I did the Miss New Brunswick pageant, and those were my first few. I haven't been able to really, it hasn't been the right time for me to enter any other pageants since. But now that I find myself like in, you know, a better place, like I guess like mentally, because as you know, like pageantry, it takes a lot of work and discipline. So I'm really excited to actually be able to enter the stage on a national level.
I love that. First off, I do apologize to our viewers. It seems like the audio is a little choppy. It might be our internet connection, but that is what it is. I still am able to understand you. I don't know if maybe it's just my end, but I just wanted to apologize to those if it is coming through on their end as well. No, but I think, you know, it's good that you were able to take a break and really focus on yourself mentally, because as you mentioned in pageants, it's physical, but it's also mental. It's a mental preparation, and I think being able to focus on yourself and making sure that you are the best version of yourself, it helps when it comes to competing on stage or competing in anything, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Well, I'm glad that you've decided to make a comeback. So you were what, 17, you said, when you stepped back on stage? So you went from 7 to 17, and now you're 28. What are you excited for going back onto the pageant stage?
I'm really excited to, I guess, like show myself what I'm capable of, because I feel like, just like a lot of people, like I know I'm my own worst critic, and I know that there's a part of me that needs to kind of like push through that. And I know when I get on that stage that I know that I can have, I guess, like that opportunity to show myself and show others what I'm capable of, but more specifically for myself, to be able to, you know, have my platform, to have done all this work over the past year, to be able to form this platform and to create so many connections and make these appearances and have it all, I guess, like come to being on the stage, to be able to show them like, this is who I am, this is what I've worked towards, and to do it like gracefully. I'm a clumsy person, but I love the stage.
I feel like I'm clumsy, but when it comes to stage, it changes. So I feel you on that one. What is it, I guess, about Galaxy specifically that you were like, yep, this is what I want to do?
So for a while, I've been looking at different national pageants, and one of my friends actually was Miss Galaxy Ottawa Haven. So just kind of watching her journey and watching her on the stage, I had the opportunity to look at Galaxy itself and look at what they stand for. And for me, I really appreciated, I guess, like the flexibility of making your platform your own. Like, of course, they have, you know, we have the charity, like
Give Kids the World.
Kids Give the World. Yeah, Give Kids the World charity. But we have, like, the Galaxy pageant gives delegates this opportunity to make the platform their own, however they want it. There's this, I guess, like, this ability to be creative, especially during, COVID-19, where appearances don't have to be, being on a stage and giving a speech. It could be like, doing a cleanup, for example. It could be like reading on a video to, kids. Like, I had done that. I read Phyllis's Orange Shirt, and even doing something like this, having the chance to talk about my platform. It shows the flexibility and I guess like the creativity that Galaxy, I guess like fosters in delegates. And the inclusivity I find I'm really happy with, because I know like I've been looking at other things and there's, the criteria is always a little different depending on, I guess, the division and the pageant itself. And to be able to see like, for example, Miss to be like, 28, Mother's Welcome, I'm like, this is good. It shows that, it's inclusive. And I guess that's what drew me to Galaxy.
I love that. Yes, it's a very they're inclusive. They accept everyone of every walk of life, every body shape, every body type. I love it. And same with me. That's why I do love Galaxy for what it stands for. There is a question from Instagram, speaking of Galaxy, and the question is, which segment are you looking most forward to at Galaxy?
Ooh, I mean, that's a good one because, of course, interview. I like to think that interview is something I'm really excited towards, but in terms of being on the stage, it's got to be a toss-up between fashion wear and evening gown. I find evening gown, it's very, you can really show who you are. You can show yourself how you carry yourself and, whatever you're wearing. But I find fashion wear has this fun part to it where you can wear what you want, and as long as you feel good in it, that's what shines through. And that's like I watched the Galaxy pageants this past August, and I was blown away. I'm like, this is so much fun. Like, it's not just walking down the stage. Like, you can see like that these delegates, these queens, are having so much fun with what they have, and how it just suits them. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is to be able to kind of feel good, feel myself in what I'm wearing, and to not be afraid to be my weird self.
Well, do you have any ideas of what you might be wearing for evening gown and fashion wear?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I want something that will go like. So what I love about summers is that I can tan quite a bit. So I'm like, white. But at the same time, I'm a big fan of pastels. So I'm like, there's so many options. But fashion wear, I want it to be like, I guess, sort of androgynous. That's what I want to go for with fashion wear, is to be able to like push what we see as like, I guess like fashion wear, to push it, to make it feminine, but make it also, if somebody wants to wear, something that's a little less feminine, to create this beautiful mix. That's what I want to see for myself in fashion wear.
Ooh, well, we have 10, 11 months until nationals, so I cannot wait to see what you come up with. What I love about Galaxy, and I've said this on the show before, is the fashion that people come in, whether it be for orientation or even swimwear, fashion wear, whatever it might be, because everyone's individual style comes out, and it becomes like fashion week, but in a weekend.
I like that.
It'll be so much fun. I cannot wait. Another question from Instagram. Actually, before I read that, so I know that there are a few people watching. I do see the views coming in and out. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the live chats, and I'll be sure to ask Carolyn. No problem. So moving back to the questions on Instagram, one of the questions is, what is your platform and what are your plans to do with your title? Okay,
great. That's a perfect question. So my platform, as Regine says, is revolving around the Indigenous community. So for me, that's very holistic. That involves Indigenous mental health. That involves providing access to resources for Indigenous people and to create dialogues about, these systemic issues that may impede an Indigenous person's like access to these resources, and to have like all these, to bring these to light and then figure out how we can remove these barriers. And with my title, I'm the kind of person that loves to be on the ground and be on the ground and commit to action. And for me, like, using my title would be completely action, would be empowering communities to support the Indigenous community and to be able to gather resources or gather materials so that, for example, like helping out, or for example, like helping and volunteering in like the homeless shelters and creating, this is more systemic. This is the cat. This is Luna. She's making her appearance.
This is the first pet that we've had on the Pageant Sit Down. It only took 65 episodes. I love it.
She is so funny. Oh, she's sitting on my lap now. But yeah, for me, like I would love to use my title to, foster that change and to be able to create opportunities for not only myself, but for other people in the public to support the Indigenous community and understand that decolonization is not just one thing. It's very, like I said, it's very holistic. Mm-hmm. And it's going to take a lot of support and a lot of working together.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there are people who are watching right now or tune in afterwards after we go live and they want to, support your platform and support your endeavors, where can they do so?
So that's what I'm trying to figure. That's what I'm still trying to figure out here on my end. Of course, there are definitely the Indian Residential School Survivors Society, which is, I'm trying to find, there's a crisis support center. What I love about the Indian Residential School Survivors Society is that they're based in BC, and they're kind of the one that's kind of spearheading crisis support throughout the, discoveries of the unmarked graves, and providing that, validation for Indigenous folks who might be going through this. And for example, they accept donations through PayPal, as well as like locally in Ottawa, there are several organizations that are youth led. Like for example, the Assembly of Some Generation I've been seeing is a collective of Indigenous youth work hard to create opportunities for other Indigenous youth to connect with their culture. So there are certain different organizations around this, around the city of Ottawa, around nationally, that, are always looking for, help and donations and whatever,
I love that. So you heard it here first. Make sure you check out all of those different organizations. But if they wanted to follow, you and your journey, where can they find you online?
So you can find me at on Instagram at ms.galaxy.elsipogtog 2022. I'm gonna pull up on my phone just to see, because I always get the username.
No worries. No worries. I will put the link in the description. Don't worry.
Yeah. So actually, no, it's ms.galaxy.2022. There it is.
There you go.
So that's my Instagram page, and you can find me on Facebook. It's again, Ms. Galaxy Elsipogtog 2022 Carolyn S. So I try to be active as much as I can on those platforms. And you can also find me on my personal Instagram at Urban Mi'kmaq. So URBANMIKMAQ.
Perfect. So after today's show, I will put all of the links in the description below. But we're not done yet. We are only at the halfway point, which on the show, Carolyn, we have a segment which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And seeing as how you started in the Little Miss division, worked your way to the teen, and is now in the Ms division, what would you say are your 5 pageant tips for all of those watching us today?
So I was a nerd, which is a good thing. And I looked through quite a few of the episodes yesterday, and I had the chance last night to think about my 5 tips. And I guess like the first one I would say is like to know your platform. And so like know your passions, your career goals, different organizations, nonprofits, and charities that surround these issues. And like I said earlier, committing to service and action, however that looks, whether it's like fundraisers, volunteering, even like appearing at different it's like civil demonstrations. Obviously, you need to take that at your comfort level. The second tip would be, I guess, like to know your queen. So it would be to know your past and present title holders in the upcoming pageant. So like, full disclosure, I've had a really good, since I was named Ms. Galaxy Elsipogtog, I took the time to research like a lot of the past title holders like yourself to figure out, platforms. And I was having so much fun to learn. And like one thing that I've been learning quickly is that, these queens love meeting. Like it's like, for example, you have Pageant Sit Down where you get the chance to speak to so many different people from different walks of life. And as much as you love to hear our experiences, for example, I'm excited to hear your experience. And it's very symbiotic. And it creates these meaningful connections. And I'm sure that, we'll learn from each other. And, that's one thing I love. And the third would be to be unapologetically you. So for me, like, I know myself pretty well, I know I can be pretty silly, quirky, and I'm the kind of person that just loves to kind of like push things a little, like challenge things. And I know that's who I am. And I know that's what makes me, that's what makes me Carolyn. And what I want to do is to bring these characteristics to the stage. It seems to be frozen. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sorry, my camera.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Okay, good. In order to be unapologetically you, I would suggest to look inside and see if there's any, special talents. For example, I like host, and if I had that opportunity now as a title holder, I'd still love to do it. So talents. And if there is something that, like you and I had said before, if something moves you, if something moves you and you cry, then you cry. That's great. And it's so encouraged to I encourage you to share that, because vulnerability is a gift. And, as a title holder, we want to be able to share these gifts with people. So that's my third tip. Fourth tip would be to kind of when you're on the stage is to have fun and to show that you're having fun. So I remember when I did the Miss, when I did the Miss New Brunswick pageant in 2012, I didn't win a title holder. I didn't win a title, but at the same time, I had so much fun because I remember a judge kind of approached me after and said that she had so much fun watching me, simply because I looked like, from the minute I, got on the stage in the opening number to the very last moments, I looked like I was having so much fun. And so I find when somebody lets themselves have fun on the stage, it really shines through, and it's so obvious to, to the audience and to the judges. And, don't be afraid to smile or laugh. And, if you trip on stage, get up, and, it's about celebrating who you are. And the last tip would be, and I'm guilty of not doing this, for public speaking, is to be able to breathe and slow down. When I speak with people, I can get pretty animated and I speak really fast, but I used to do public speaking competitively, actually, most of my life. And I remember my first public speaking competition, I was 13, and we had the impromptu speeches, and like it was for cadets, and I remember having this impromptu speech, and I think I might have been like 2 seconds in, and I forgot what I was going to say, and I sat and I stood there, and I remember like running out, and I just like cried, and I was like, I can't believe this happened. I'm 13. What am I doing? And of course, like through all the ups and downs, you learn that, for example, breathing, in those situations, it slows down your like your nervous system responses, and it gives the chance to think about, what you want to say. And to add to that, I guess, like, to not be afraid of pauses, when somebody is speaking public, or when you're speaking publicly, because I find, for me, like, I used to have such a hard time with pauses, because it's like you want to get everything out, and so just little things like breathing, pauses, to be, it really shapes how you deliver something in terms of public speaking.
Awesome. And those are 5 amazing tips. I apologize. My webcam crashed in the midst of all that, so I'm going to adjust myself. Actually, I'm not. People are just going to deal with a little bit of me zoomed in, but that's okay. No, those are 5 amazing tips. I love those. Thank you for stalking me. I mean, I told you before we went on that I was stalking you on Facebook as well, so I guess it's even. But no, seriously, those are great tips, and I think they're also very practical outside of pageantry as well, like speaking about being unapologetically yourself, and public speaking.
I was in Air Cadets.
I didn't know you were in cadets. My brother's in the Air Cadets.
It was 5 years. I joined
part of the SC, so I
was
got
up there
to
until I
see
graduated.
Squadron grow and see
mostly what I did was like band and drill
cadets change people's lives. So when you mentioned that, I was like, oh,
for
were you
public
in
speaking.
air? Were you?
And I think for me, it's because my
nice.
brain, it just, it goes like this. It's always been so like fast, and to be able to kind of like, and I think that's why I love pageantry so much, is to be able to take a moment and just not like change who you are, but to just like have this confidence and be like, you know what? I can, for a moment, be this person that I want to be. And so, cadets has changed my life so much through giving me that, that discipline and that confidence to be able to deliver what I need to say in an efficient way.
Yes. Okay, so my question to you then, knowing that you've been in cadets for a few years, for 5 years, how did you go from,
so I,
because in cadets, they're very strict on your posture, how
like,
you walk, how you move your
I had
arms,
the
how little you
part
move your
and
arms.
I guess, like,
In your
willingness
steps.
to
So how has it
stand
gone
through,
from
some of the very
cadet
awkward moments of
to
rehearsal.
pageant training?
Oh gosh, I'm allergic to the cat, so I'm a little itchy. It's fine. But yeah, to be able to kind of like take what I've learned in cadets and bring it to pageantry, to be able to give myself the discipline to stand through, awkward rehearsals, and to be able to know that I can sort of mold what I know.
Oh,
so
no.
to be able to go from like, standing very straight to it being more like relaxed but still confident, and to be able to public speaking I was able to carry that into pageantry. And obviously there were things that I was, even like as a cadet, when I was in band camp, I was kind of known for dancing around anyway. So I was kind of the person that just kind of like, I wasn't afraid to bring what I learned in pageantry to cadets, and I wasn't afraid to bring what I learned in cadets to pageantry, and I feel like it mixed together in a really helpful way for me.
That's really interesting, because I would have seen it like you have to be very proper for cadets and then more flowy, I guess, on stage for pageants. But I do like how you're right, it does go hand in hand in terms of the discipline, especially the discipline.
Oh my gosh, Alexa is talking to me now.
Okay, so next question for you then. When you do compete in pageants, do you still have your hair in a bun, or are you over the buddies from cadets? How long?
It's great. So yeah, I'm over the buns. I've been growing my hair for quite some time.
We're getting it all on the show. My
even
webcam
when I was, when I was 17, and I did the teen pageant, I made sure that my hair was down and it was big because
what is going on?
I value my hair very much, especially as an Indigenous person. It has such a spiritual and personal connection. So for me, no more buns.
Mm-hmm. Man, that makes so much sense. I love that. It's so interesting. I never knew that in cadets. And when I speak to anyone who was in the cadets, it's never been they weren't also in pageantry. So this is really great to see your side of how they go.
I am definitely like looking for Indigenous-inspired outfits, Indigenous-inspired jewelry. Well, not Indigenous created jewelry, I should say.
Real quick.
Yeah, I mean, like for example, I've been thinking of state earrings being completely like made by Indigenous people, and
Galaxy.
I guess like even bringing in not just Indigenous inspired things, but to bring in my own culture and make it, fashion, not costumey, but fashion.
Well, is it really costumey, or is it actually fashion? Let's be real. It's. I hate when people are, and I don't hate is such a strong word, but I dislike when people take, for example, a kimono and they make it costumey. But realistically, if you look at the kimono itself, it is fashion, but for the Japanese people, right? So for you saying you don't want your Indigenous outfit to be costumey, it's not costumey. It's costumey if somebody else wears it for Halloween. Which
I think about,
ladies and gentlemen,
Indigenous creators on
TikTok and I don't want to give
Indigenous,
people ideas.
Artists who create these things that
costumey, but it isn't costumey.
Build on their cultural identity, but still like take in parts of today, and it creates something so beautiful in this act of reclamation. It's my partner's cat, but my cat, I guess, because she loves me now. It took a while for her to, I guess, trust me, but I think we're good now. I have my own cat.
I'm gonna scratch my nose. I'm allergic to cats too, and I'm not even near their cat. Sorry. Is it even your cat, or is it?
That's very unusual, but she also likes the camera. I'm like, maybe she could be a good Ms. Galaxy. Yeah, I mean, Meow Galaxy. I like it.
I was gonna say, I think she likes you if she just like plopped in the middle of our interview. Meow Galaxy. Cindy, we're giving you more ideas here.
When I decided to, I guess,
speaking of
enter this pageant, I wanted to make sure that everything I did was intentional.
So you,
what I want to
as
do
you
is I
prepare
want
for
to
Galaxy,
specifically
like
like
what can you
bring
look
to light these
forward
issues
to
within the Indigenous
on your
community
journey?
and bring forward like ways we can support the Indigenous communities, and I guess like have it in action, you know? I want to be able to like have these things in action in a very on the ground grassroots kind of way for me, especially because that's, I know I'm an activist. I've, you know, planned my own, like I planned different rallies around the city, and being able to have it grassroots is so important to me. So I guess that's where I want to come at it. I want to come at it from, you know, from the ground up.
I love that. Literally from the ground up. I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I will put all the links to her social media down below. So make sure you follow Carolyn's journey because it's just beginning. I know that you just started your Instagram page, so I do know it's just beginning, but it's going to be an amazing journey for you. I can already feel it. So okay,
that's a good question. I mean, I had a really great time looking
that
at,
you did
for
some
example,
searching
I
on your
think it's
Galaxy
Kylie and
Queens.
Kinsley,
What is, I guess,
the
something
junior miss and
interesting
the
that
yeah,
you
yeah, the
learned
junior miss,
about the past
yeah,
queens that you
yeah, the
didn't
little miss and
expect?
preteen. I've just been watching, you know, them as sisters, and I'm like, that's so amazing and incredible for them to have been able to, you know, be in this journey together. And I'm like, it's so cool. And I think I actually read
The Little Miss
in your
and
bio that you do a lot of volunteering with cadets, and I'm like, that's amazing. Because that's, you know, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that one day, especially with like, you know, marching band. I'm a big band geek, like I said, and you know, it's just like you learn a lot of things about the past title holders, and you're like, wow. Like, for example, the current Ms. Galaxy Canada, I've been sort of like, you know, watching her social media and being like, this person is she's so sure of herself. And I really admire that, you know, being an Army veteran and being, you know, a mom and being, you know, a philanthropist. I love seeing how well-rounded these things are.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did do a lot. With, like I said, my brothers were they were part of the Oak Squadron 540. So that squadron kind of really got me where I am today. I like to say it's interesting because I was never a cadet, but I did start my career as an event planner with the cadets and growing my portfolio with them, giving back to them. So when I won Miss Canada's Top Choice in 2016, I did do a give back fundraiser, and the money raised did go back to that squadron to help, because that squadron went from, I want to say when my brothers first joined, there was maybe about 150 cadets, and it doubled in size to 300 cadets. So you can only imagine how much they needed, and their cadet house was torn down by the city of Oakville. So that was a sad day.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of fundraising for them.
It's hard because, like, especially because there's so many experiences, so many stories that happen there, and to have it completely gone. Like, I couldn't even imagine if that would happen to my squadron. You know, like,
building in itself.
It would have just been so. Yeah.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
It was like this little cute blue house, and then it was torn down. Probably for condos too, which sucks. It's terrible. But anyways, this is not anything to do with our conversation. But yeah, no, Natalie is great. Natalie is amazing. I love watching her journey as well, and to see how fast she really started moving with her title. Here I am telling you, like, I'm still so used to saying Miss Galaxy and not my new title, and she's already gone far with title. So know,
Yeah.
but it's doing great. And I'm really excited to see where you go with your journey and it's something interesting to watch the new group of delegates come in and really take the lead with their titles and their platforms, and to see
Honestly,
what
I'm
you
just
guys can
really
do with it.
excited to be able to have this opportunity
Excited for
to,
you.
I guess, like to bring
Well,
my
as we
platform
start to
forward.
wrap
And
things
because
up,
for me, it's not
Carolyn, are
just
there
like
any last things that you
these
would
issues,
like to
like it's
share
personal,
with
and I
our
have a set of
viewers?
stories from this, and I feel like with story, like these stories, I know will, create change for so many people personally, and of course in my career I want to be able to do that, on a more structural level. So I'm really excited to see where this goes for me.
Well, I am really excited to see where this goes for you as well. And
I so
like I
appreciate
said,
that, and I
if there's
appreciate the opportunity
anything
to be
that
able
you
to share
need
this
from
here.
myself or even the queens or even the delegates of Canada Galaxy or any other platform, feel free to reach out, and we would all be more than happy to help make your platforms and your dreams happen.
Oh, I won't be.
Well, thank you for sharing your journey, a little bit of your story, and a little bit of you with us today. Again, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you, and I hope this isn't the last time we talk. I hope not. Okay, great. I love your energy. I love everything that you're about. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, make sure you follow Carolyn's journey on her way to Canada Galaxy
I'm so
Crown.
happy it
All
worked
the
out.
links
Like
to her social
I've
media
been
will be
homesick from
in
I had
the
a cold for a
description
while now,
after
so I'm
today's
finally
show.
feeling better. But it worked out so well.
Again, Carolyn, thank you for joining us today. I know it was very last minute, but I do appreciate having you on here and sharing yourself with us today.
Yeah. Yes.
That is what I want to ask you really quickly before we get off of this call.
I work at a daycare. I work
You
in
posted
childcare.
that you've had 13
specifically
COVID
with
tests in
actually
the last,
Indigenous
say,
led
2
childcare.
years.
And
I have it written down
love
too.
where I
It
work.
literally
I
says
love the people I
13
work
COVID
with.
tests.
But of course, ministry
How?
regulations.
Why?
Whenever you experience some symptoms, they advise you to get tested and isolate until you're symptom free. So unfortunately, those symptoms could, be as easily as like an upset stomach or a headache, or they can be, a cough and runny nose. And so unfortunately, I've had a lot of those, especially like navigating new allergies. And I'm like, well, do I have a sore throat, or do I have, and if yeah, it's the cat. That's pretty much what's happening. But yeah, a lot of, symptoms and a lot of COVID tests, a lot of swabs. I've discovered in my last test that they all don't have to go up the nose. The last one I had was like on my tongue and my chin, and just in the inside of my nostrils. But it was less invasive, and I'm like, okay, I'll take that over, jab, 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 jab.
Oh God. Well, at least we know you have the cleanest nose of the two of us.
Hopefully not.
That's wild. Okay, well, first off,
too.
thank you for what you're doing with your platform. But please be safe and be careful, and hopefully that is the last, let's be real, you work with children. It won't be the last one, but hopefully you don't need to do too many more COVID tests. And I hope you and your partner stay safe during all of this. Thank you. Well, again, Carolyn, thank you for joining us today. It's honestly been a pleasure having you on here and dealing with all of the technical difficulties that we've both encountered. But ladies and gentlemen, If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you like all things pageantry, please subscribe to the channel, as I do go live on the Pageant Sit Down at least once a week. And as I mentioned at the top of this show, the Miss Galaxy Canada 2022 pageant is premiering, not live, but premiering on Canada Galaxy YouTube channel. So make sure you check that after you've liked, subscribed, all of that. Subscribe to Carolyn, liked all her social media, and then come back to YouTube because you still have a few minutes and tune into the Miss Galaxy Canada 2022 pageant. But again, Carolyn, thank you so much. I'm going to say it one last time. Miss Galaxy Elsipogtog 2022. Oh, I have my cheat sheet and I still can't say it. You know what? I tried. I haven't